Sevgili Batmanlılar,
Dear residents of Batman
hanım kardeşlerim,
and sisters,
değerli gençler,
dear youth,
uzun bir aradan sonra
after a long break,
sizlerle tekrar bir araya gelmenin
it's a great
mutluluğu içerisindeyim.
joy to be once again
Sizlere
with
kalbi
you,
duygularımla,
and I greet all
muhabbetle
of you
selamlıyorum.
with great love.
Sizlerle yüz yüze buluşmaktan, güzel
It's a
yüzünüzü
great pleasure
görmekten,
to meet with you face to face and to see your beautiful faces and to see the warmth of your hearts which are full of love.
biz sizi Allah için seviyoruz.
We love you for God,
Sizin de bizi aynı hissiyatla sevdiğinizi
and
biliyoruz.
we know that you love us
Rabbim
in the same manner,
uhuvvetimizi
and may
ve
God
muhabbetimizi
always
daim eylesin
strengthen
diyorum.
our brotherhood and our mutual love.
Bugün Batman'da ilk olarak
Today in Batman,
dünya çapında
for the
bir
first
proje
time,
olan Ilısu
a
Barajı
global scale
ve
project, the
hidroelektrik
Ulusu
santralinin
Dam and the
açılışını yaptık.
hydroelectric power station
Dicle
has
Nehri'ne
been opened.
taktığımız
This is
gerdanlıkların en
like an
büyüğü
important
olan bu eser,
necklace on
sulama
the
tesisleriyle
river of
Batman'la
Tigris,
birlikte
and together with the
Diyarbakır,
irrigation facilities,
Mardin,
it will help
Siirt
Diyarbakır,
ve Şırnak
Mardin, Siirt,
illerimizin
and
topraklarına
Şırnak provinces,
bereket dağıtacak.
and it will bring more prosperity to the
Santralde
farming
elektrikten
land. And the
ülkemizin
electricity to
enerji
be generated
ihtiyacının
in the power
karşılanmasına
station
önemli
will
katkı
help
sağlayacak.
meet the energy needs of
Biliyorsunuz,
our country.
Batman'ı
As
bu
you know,
yatırımdan mahrum bırakmak için
in
hem
order to
dışarıda
prevent Batman
hem
from
içeride
having this project
nice
both inside
kirli
and outside
ve
our country,
karanlık kampanyalar
many
yürütüldü.
dark and
Hamdolsun
dirty
bu
campaigns have
engellerin
been
hepsini
run,
de aşarak
but thankfully we were
işte
able
bugün
to overcome
Batman'ı
all of these
bu
obstacles,
hizmete
and we were
kavuşturduk.
able to bring this important service
Elbette
to Batman.
sadece Ilısu'yla
Of course,
yetinmiyoruz.
we do not stop
Bugün burada
at the
aynı
Ulusu
zamanda
Dam. Today,
yapımı
here,
tamamlanan
we are
kamu
also
yatırımlarının
inaugurating some other
ve
investments that
organize
have
sanayi
been completed,
bölgemizdeki
some public investments and
fabrikaların da
factories
resmi
inside
açılışlarını
the
yapıyoruz.
organized industrial zone. Their official
Peki ne
inauguration
yaptık?
will be carried out today. So
Eğitimde
what have we achieved?
432
In
dersteki
education,
26 okul,
26 schools with
400
400
öğrenci
classrooms
kapasiteli
and
2 pansiyonu,
two dormitories
spor
with
salonu,
400 capacity,
50
two sports
yataklı
facilities,
öğretmen evi,
a teachers
hizmete açıyoruz.
hostel with
Sağlıkta
50
az önce
beds.
bakanımı
They
dinlediniz.
will be inaugurated
Eğitim
today. In
Araştırma
health, as you have
Hastanesi
just heard from the
statüsündeki
Minister of Health,
440 yataklı yeni
a
kadın
training
doğum ve çocuk
hospital
hastalıkları
for
hastanesi.
children and maternity with 400 beds, and the Sason State Hospital's additional building with 50 beds. In Kozluk, a healthy a wellness center, a family health center, the 112 emergency call center, and a dental health clinic, and in Hasankeyf a hospital with 55 beds, and in the center Gacus and Beşiri various health buildings will be officially inaugurated today.
Biz sizin için varız.
We are here for you,
15.000 seyirci kapasiteli
and
stadyumumuzun
the stadium
aralarında
with a
bulundu.
capacity of 15,000 viewers and some other sports investments will also be inaugurated today. The Batman Provincial Library and some other service buildings for state institutions again will be inaugurated here today. An important source of revenue for the region is the pistachios, and in order to increase the production and cultivation of pistachios, the menengiç farming works, facility, and many other farming and livestock facilities will be inaugurated today. Turkey is growing with investments and education, and a great example of this is in the Batman Organized Industrial Zone. The 36 factories which have been completed will be again inaugurated today.
Resmi açılışlarını yaptığımız yaklaşık 500 milyon liralık bir yatırımla
With a total investment of 500 million liras, these factories have been built and have been brought to reality, and 4,000 additional employment has been created in this city. We always talk about unemployment, and here, as you can see, with this we are inflicting a blow on unemployment. The Batman Organized Industrial Zone is full, so on the Raman mountainside, an area of 6,000 hectares will be used for the establishment of a new organized industrial zone. Batman now has peace and stability and is rising rapidly, and we are watching this in great appreciation and giving every kind of support. 20 years ago, when I came to Batman, what kind of a Batman province did I observe, and what kind of Batman do I observe today? Correct. 20 years ago, Batman was very different than what it is today. When you compare the two cities, sisters who have experienced those days and brothers, you can see the progress that we have made. But you should know that it will even get better. With a total investment cost of 1 billion liras, we have built these public and private projects and may they be auspicious for our city. I congratulate everyone who contributed to these projects in our city, the ministries, state agencies, private industry, engineers to workers, everyone who contributed to such projects. Batman, just like Diyarbakır, Muş, Bitlis, Siirt, and Mardin, around it, just like its neighboring provinces, for many years Batman has suffered under the terror group and has had losses. Turkey is making progress in democracy and development. And when we look at the challenges of history, we always see the single party period and their fascism, which was against the nation and its values. But actually, no matter which origin or which sect they come from, for 1,000 years people have lived on this land as brothers and sisters. They have always cherished their homeland and their state, and we have always fought against any kind of attack against our homeland together in order to spread the word of God when necessary. Without batting an eye, we have sacrificed our own lives. We have drawn our last breath in each other's arms. For instance, Sultan Alparslan, as he was conquering Anatolia, we were fighting together, shoulder to shoulder. Or as Selahaddin Eyyubi fought against the Crusaders, we were marching shoulder to shoulder behind him. And as Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror was conquering Istanbul, we climbed the walls together. And as Yavuz the Grim was marching in the desert, we drank water from the same container together. In Gallipoli, we fought against the whole world that was attacking us together, and we have brought the national war to a victory together. In factories, in farms, in construction sites, we have worked together. As you can see, in this land, we have always together improved this land with our shared blood and sweat and turned it into our homeland. But whenever the single-party regime took the matters in its hands, we have started suffering together. From the unity and togetherness and the brotherhood of the nation, we draw our strength, even though the single-party fascism tried to attack it. The destruction of their attacks has manifested itself in different ways and has caused all of us to suffer. This was like a disaster on our nation, and those who have sided with the nation have been silenced with different excuses and with coups. From the late Prime Minister Menderes, many of the victories at the election polls have been stopped by the walls of coups. The rejection and assimilation policies of the single-party regime has never allowed peace and stability in this region. But when I look across now, thank God, I see the prosperity of Batman. I see the joy, the unity of Batman. And are you ready? All together, one nation, one flag, one state, one homeland. We will be one, we will be big, we will be live and strong, we will be brothers and sisters, and all together, with the help of God, we will march towards victory. All the mistakes of the past allowed terror groups to find room to maneuver and allowed a poisonous environment to emerge. Those who could not find solutions to the problems of this region, especially after 1980, has used pressure, threats, in order to ignore the rights and freedoms of people and in order to dislocate them, and they expanded the problems. They have condemned the people of the region to poverty for many decades because of their neglect. And my brothers and sisters, when we first came to office, we had this kind of a Turkey or this kind of a region on our hands. And we have started working right away. And as the first step to take, we have tried to win the minds and hearts of people. We have eliminated the state of emergency which was putting pressure on people. We were the ones who abolished it, and we started the biggest investment leap of our history. In all 81 provinces of our country, in education, health, transport, energy, justice, and sports, we have built public infrastructure. And by doing so, we have made it possible for everyone in their villages or in their districts or provinces to have access to basic services. They no longer have to go to big cities like Istanbul or Ankara in order to have the basic amenities. Do we now have a university in Batman? If it was not for this university, the youth of Batman, where would they go? They would have to go either to Ankara or to Istanbul. They would have to go west. But we have built a university here in Batman, and now the young students of Batman can now study in their own homes, in their own hometowns. We have taken office when there were 76 universities, but we increased the number of universities to 206. Compare 76 to 206 universities. They try to condemn our people to ignorance and the poverty that is caused by that ignorance. And we took that excuse from them. And Batman University was such a step. So, in the past 19 years, let's see what kind of investment that we have brought to Batman. The total is 16 billion liras. In the old figures, 16 trillion. And let's summarize very briefly what we have brought to this city. 4,000 new classrooms have been built for education. For higher education students, dormitories have been opened with a capacity of 2,300. Today, we are inaugurating a stadium with 15,000 capacity, 15,000 seats, and 39 total sports facilities. In social aid for the people in need in this city, 4.2 billion liras have been allocated. In health, we have built 8 hospitals and 41 health facilities in total. We have built them very quickly and opened them. Currently in this city we are building a hospital with 500 beds. The tender process has been initiated. Through the State Housing Administration, TOKİ agency, in the past 19 years, 5,000 social apartments have been completed and another 960 are currently under construction. 3 Nations Gardens Park will be built in Batman. One of them will be at the site of the previous stadium, and it was inaugurated on the World Environment Day. In the historical Hasankeyf district, we are planning another national park. And you know the Dilmaç neighborhood? In Dilmaç neighborhood, the Nation's Garden has been planned entirely, and within this December it will be tendered out. In Batman, when we came to power, there were only 13 kilometers of divided highways, but we have added another 149 kilometers to this and increased the total length to over 160 kilometers. And this is what we do. We are those who serve. We always produce new projects.
Kardeşlerim, eşek ölür kalır semeri, insan ölür kalır eseri. When people die, they are remembered with what they leave behind. For instance, the Batman Hasankeyf highway will be completed next year, and the Man border highway will be completed over the next 3 years. The Batman Airport terminal building has been increased to 2 million capacity, 2 million passengers per year capacity, and you are taking these flights now, right? I can give the instruction. Batman'da 293.000 dekar zirai arazinin sulanmasına hizmet edecek. In order to irrigate farming land in Batman and to generate power in Batman, the Batman Dam has been completed. The Zilek spring water has been taken outside the Ulusu Dam, and we have met the potable and usage water needs of Batman until the year 2050. The Batman River has been improved, and we are coming to the end in this project. In the past 19 years, for farmers of Batman, we have in total given 1 billion liras in the form of agricultural subsidies. We have brought natural gas to the city, and hopefully soon enough Beşiri and Kozluk will receive it, and in 2 years Gercüş, Hasankeyf and other districts will receive their natural gas supplies. We have to speed up this process. For more, I have brought the Minister of Energy and Natural Resources in this visit because we have to speed up such projects. These investments will be increased and continued over the upcoming years. For the region and for the city, in order to improve it with the most developed infrastructure investments, we are also running a fight against tutelage. And as we do so, just like all members of our nation, we have enabled more rights and freedoms for our citizens who live here. The West has called it a silent revolution. And thankfully, now speaking Turkish, speaking Kurdish or singing in Kurdish, reading or writing in Kurdish is no longer a crime. This step and many other century-long problems have been solved thanks to the steps that we have taken. From the constitution to individual laws, all legislation, all practices and all previous applications have been transformed based on rights and freedoms. The bureaucratic oligarchy in the country has been broken, and we have also eliminated the oppression and the tutelage of the terror group which it had established on the people of the region with blood. In terms of infrastructure and democracy, we have made all 81 provinces of our country equals. You are the first witnesses of what we did. That's why I'm not going to explain them at great length. But of course, as we grow our country, as we establish and strengthen the unity and brotherhood of our nation, certain groups were offended by it, but we still continued on our journey with a last step called the solution process. We saved Turkey from the oppression of the terror group. Our goal is to eliminate this issue from the agenda of the country entirely so that we can dedicate our energy and our time to our real targets. We have taken every kind of criticism and every kind of risk as we started this frank process, but the terror group chose shedding blood and weapons. That's why the process failed. Recently, there have been some confessions by the leaders of the terror group which confess to the same fact. The leaders of the terror group have confessed that they have been told to reject the solution and to restart conflicts. They confessed that they received pressure from outside. The terror group, even though it did not have any excuse to do so, it still opted for violence, and it has demonstrated that it has no connection to this land and the people of this land. Whoever pays for it can use as they wish and can make them attack any way they wish and guide it any way they want. And this terror group is hurting my Kurdish brothers and sisters the most, and our Kurdish brothers and sisters are paying the heftiest price for this terror group. As you can see, and as I always say in my creed, it doesn't matter whether people are Turkish or Kurdish or from any other ethnic group, but when you look at the PKK terror group or when you look at HDP, they have no faith or no belief. We have to know this quite well. In this regard, we only love you for sake of God, and we do not discriminate. As you can see, the terror group has no room left in Turkey. Now they're trying to cause turmoil in Syria and northern Iraq. They have deviated to the extent that they can attack the legitimate government in Iraq. And what is Mr. Kemal claiming? If he comes, he claims that he is going to destroy the Kandil mountain. But Mr. Kemal, the nation would never allow you to come to power in this country. And the HDP or the good party, they can never be trusted with the government. We are one, we are together, and all together, hopefully, we are Turkey. Neither in the future of neither Turkey or nor the region, this terror group has no future. But I ask you for great effort. Until 2023, are we ready to go door to door? Especially the sisters and the main organization and the youth branch. We will go door to door, and with God's help in 2023 we will gain victory at the election polls. Every problem that our country had in the past 8 years come from the hatred, grudge, and enmity that feed from the same source as the terror group. In the face of the terror attacks, our country has stood tall with the nation and with the state, and those who had evil plans on the region grew their hatred towards us. We raise our voice against the inequalities, against the oppression and injustices that happen in the world and in our region. We responded by saying 1 minute. And as we said 1 minute, the number of traps that were laid for us and their size continued increasing. The sworn enemies of Turkey and their extensions in our country, the PKK, the FETÖ terror groups, and the agents or political agents which seem like diplomats or NGOs, as we punish them, their fury grows. But who are you? 10 ambassadors are coming up, and they're trying to teach us, trying to give us advice, but unfortunately they receive the biggest support by some people among us. In this country, a political party like CHP or their leadership, do they have their own policies that they design themselves? Or again, I ask you, is there such a political party called HDP, and does its leadership have its own policies? If that is the case, we have to answer the following question. The biggest oppression that is inflicted upon our Kurdish brothers and sisters, a party who abuses the name of our Kurdish brothers. Which strength, which force could bring these two political parties together? The honest answer to this question will reveal the reason for what Turkey has experienced in the past 8 years. We know this answer already. You do know this answer already. Those who make the plan and then put it to stage do not even feel the need to hide themselves. So our duty, just like the case was in the past 1,000 years, to be one heart and one fist together in order to strengthen our brotherhood and to disrupt this dirty plan that is being prepared. When I see the crowd in front of me, I thank God. This is a very beautiful brotherhood, and this is great solidarity. Our country, our citizens and the people of the region have been saved from the weaponized oppression of the terror group, and we are going to save it from the oppression of the HDP as well. When you look at the bloody plans that are made on you, you can see now better the evil intentions behind it. In Iraq and in Afghanistan and currently in Syria, the destruction that is experienced have shown us the significance of the unity of our nation and the strength of our country. It reminds us over and over again. And with the help of God and support of the nation, with the prayers of the innocent, Turkey will pass the tests of 2023 and will continue giving trust to friends and fear to its enemies. So I ask you to work very hard until 2023 so that poverty, terror, and oppression cannot prevail in this country ever again, and our country does not bow. Our unity, our togetherness, our brotherhood has to be protected very well. In this blessed journey, I am sure Batman will be at the front lines. And in such sentiments, once again, I congratulate the projects and investments that we are inaugurating today. I greet all of you with love and with regards.
Kalın sağlıcakla. Şöyle coşkuyla
With great excitement, let's repeat it once again.
Arka taraf maşallah göremiyor. Tek millet,
One nation,
tek bayrak,
one flag,
tek devlet,
one state,
tek vatan.
and one homeland.
Bir olacağız.
We will be
İri
one,
olacağız.
we will be big,
İri olacağız.
we will be strong,
Kardeş
we will
olacağız.
be brothers,
Hep birlikte
and all together
Türkiye
we will be
olacağız.
Turkey.
Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'a konuşmaları için çok teşekkür ediyor ve Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızı bir müddet daha sahnede misafir ediyoruz. Saygıdeğer hemşehrilerimiz, değerli konuklar, Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Batman Eğitim ve Araştırma Hastanesi, 35 fabrika, şehir stadyumu ile yapımı tamamlanan diğer projelerin açılışını kurdele kesmek suretiyle gerçekleştirecektir. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza refakat etmek üzere Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcımızı